so you got
We always make...
Hey, I love that.
Hey, girl,
Can I start the show?
That's how I'm going to start it. Hey, girl, hey, we are the Heartbreakers, and we are back. How you doing, Elsa?
Good. I don't know. I have my back face towards you. I have like this corset dress on, so I have to be like, oh, this is...
I can hear it going, it's like a door shutting. Like
it's
a
really
very
cute.
old door.
And I went into my closet, and Lenore, we share the same maid, and she must have just she organized my closet so well. I was like, I didn't know I had this dress.
Don't let her wash your clothes if you ever want to wear them again.
No. I don't have her wash my stuff. But
it's like once a week there's just like a splatter of like bleach, or I mean, what am I complaining about? I'm not washing it, and I know very well that she's going to ruin all the items, but I have about a couple of weeks until she gets down to every item that I've just bought.
Is she seeking revenge on you? That's what it seems like. No, I'm kidding.
absolutely not. She loves us. She sends me a voice note like every other day about how I love you. I hope you have a good day. I'm gonna, she's almost loves us way too much.
She's like very good at her job of keeping everything clean and orderly, and she provides emotional support.
Yeah,
she's
she does.
full service.
She is full service, and she brings flowers, and she'll completely cover your whole place with flowers.
Is she single?
I always she actually is, but she doesn't want to be with guys. I mean, or women for that matter. Although she's probably more likely to be with a woman. Mm-hmm. So she's probably like in her probably early 60s, and she's from
Wait, we didn't introduce our guest.
I know, I was getting to that. Brittany Brave is with us. Yes. She's comedian, actor, producer. According to Instagram, she's tiny and loud. We will see.
Did I live up to that? I mean, tiny so far.
Oh, yes,
you are.
petite. Yes. My ex-husband used to say, I'm not short, I'm compact.
Exactly. Right. Well, my entire life has been defined by good things come in small packages, but then when I say that to the men I'm sleeping with, they're upset. So.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever said that to them?
Yeah. Well,
You'll tell people that they have a small dick when they do, or do you keep that?
I'm a comedian, so telling the truth is my job. Okay. So I'm not going to hold anything back.
I love that stream of thought. Do you just like absorb everything around you all the time and are very present?
Yes. Like I think, what's funny, and I want to like kind of debunk this now, at least from my perspective. Everyone says the comedians are depressed and dark, and that's not true. But I think it's less that and more we just see everything like for what it is. We're gonna pick up on the nuance in the room, the awkwardness in the room, and you're just not afraid to like address whatever size elephant is in the room. So I think that's what leads you to become a comedian.
I like that they're depressed and dark. That's why I want to date one so bad, because they're funny, but they're also usually exactly. We'll talk. They really usually. Like they hate themselves, which I love because I hate myself. And then sorry, I'm talking about you like you're not in the room.
I loathe myself. Like lay it on me.
And then in a way that you can make light of situations to get through them by being funny. I mean, what a great partner that would be.
I think that so the theory is on people who are funny are actually intelligent people, because you have to be able to read people, read the room, know what to make fun of. So I don't find I used to be friends with a lot of comedians in New York, and I actually don't find to be dark and depressing people at all. Completely opposite. I actually heard that dentists are the top leading suicidal career.
If I spent every waking moment inside people's mouths.
The smell.
Oh my God.
Do you think dentists can smell?
Oh, of course they can. You can smell it. If you've ever had a cavity and you've been in the dentist chair and you're like, is that me?
They can, because they wear the same masks that we all had to wear during COVID, and I know that didn't block enough out. So, and definitely you're like, I thought my breath smelled okay, and then it would hit you back.
Well, they don't usually come in until after the cleaning's done. So maybe the mouth's already clean and smelling good.
Oh, true.
But I would be
still
depressed
gross,
too.
though.
I don't know, but that's supposed to be a dark end,
Dentists.
Okay.
Serial killer vibes from dentists, because they're like dissecting bone, which is tooth, or like the tooth is
very comfortable around blood.
Yeah,
like so I could totally see that. I could kind of see it. Yeah, but to your point, like it's like I agree about comedians being intelligent, and not that I'm masturbating right now and telling myself I'm smart, but I think it's just like awareness, and I do agree with the darkness, the self-deprecating. I think there's something super empowering about owning like,
You're shit.
Well, it's very intelligent. That's why they're so dark as well, because like they're so smart. They are picking up on everything and dissecting it and overanalyzing everything. And it's not enough to just be like, are we all just walking around the streets acting like we're not like on this planet in these bodies and like having experiences? Like everyone's just go to work, clock out at 5, blah, blah. They don't think like that. They're like, everything is crushing me.
I love that you just said that, because I'm like, I kind of have a bit, or at least like a philosophy that like, I don't trust people that are too happy. I mean, for sure, take care of yourself, your mental health, yada, yada, etc. But like, anybody that walks around and they're like, everything's amazing and I'm just full of joy and oh my God. And I'm like, do you not see that the world is quite literally on fucking fuck? Can I say fuck?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. On fucking fire. And like everything's about like, look at it's like what you just said, look at everything around you. So sometimes I don't even think it's depressed and dark. It's just like things aren't always super glitzy and perfect.
I've never asked someone, how do you become a comedian? People just start telling you that you're funny and then you're like, shit, I should do this in front of people, or like, how do you, or you just enjoyed being entertaining people and you're like,
I always say trauma is what leads you to stand-up comedy. And I mean, for me and my personal story, that's a part of it. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I dated a monster for 3 years, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I started stand-up after that, but I performed my whole life, and I want to say the one constant thing that I've ever had about me is I knew I had an ability to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Like that was and I liked it, and it's the only thing that brought me joy. It was my way out of awkward moments. It's how I made sense of stuff happening in my family, dark times. Exactly. So I think humor was always really important to me. And then
you're lucky to be that type of person that is able to view hard times as almost, funny and stuff, even though it's not funny, because there's people that genuinely are sitting there laying in bed and I'm like, why can't you get up? And they're like, I'm just so dark and depressed. And I'm like, but like, there's nothing to want you to get up and like you be happy for. It's really sad. So I'm happy to hear that you were able to see the positive.
Thank you.
Like, in a weird way.
I say that relationship was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I got to tie myself to comedy. I got to tie myself to something that...
What catapulted you to do that straight after such an intense situation? It was just like, I need to make a change, or like, what? Yeah.
Well, I needed to change my whole life, to be honest. I was with him for 3 years. It was really dark. It was physical abuse, emotional abuse, and then obviously that trickles into everything else. And I had so many attempts to try to leave that situation, but I always looked at everything else in my life and I felt like I had nothing. I wasn't suicidal, thank God, but I felt like I didn't have anything to turn to. And the one thing I'd always had in my life was comedy. Like I did a lot of improv, I used to act and all this stuff. And I had it brought me so much joy, even just to make strangers laugh or make my friends laugh.
It's so fun. When people laugh, there's nothing like it.
Feeling.
There's no drug in the world. Like when people are genuinely laughing at something that you've said. I mean, I have been a drug addict. I guess that never really goes away. That's the serotonin here. I mean, you just want it more and more and more and more. Like that is great.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something in the chemistry from that experience that I went through that lines up with like comedy as well too. And laughter is completely infectious. And I honestly, the way that I made sense of that relationship when it got really bad, there was I put everything through the funnel of humor, and I would tell my friends these really dark things that were happening in the relationship, and they would be crying, laughing. Like they're like, we don't want to laugh, but it's like so funny and real.
And because probably a lot of times in those kind of relationships, the people are acting so crazy that you're like, what is wrong with this person? It almost does become humorous because you're like, this person is like,
it's extreme.
It's so extreme.
And insane.
That's what Joan Rivers used to say about, like, she was like, you idiots, she'd make jokes about, like, people with mental disabilities and stuff like that. She's like, my family members have mental disabilities. I joke to get through these things. That's why, like, we need to make it normalized and not, like, putting people in the corner being like, oh, that's weird, let's not touch it.
Yeah. We as a society are going to be dead on arrival the day that we can't laugh at things.
I know.
Yeah.
The day that we can't talk about things. And because what ends up happening, if you don't laugh about it, that's where it starts. Then you don't talk about it. And if you don't talk about it, then you just start turning a blind eye. And like, and it's also too, for comedians, when we joke about something, it's exactly what Joan said. She's my idol. She's like my phone background, literally. it's not making fun of something. It's actually kind of the opposite. Like, it's our lives and it's in front of us and it's important. So we're trying to shed light on it. We're just comedians. So the way we do it is by making it funny. So, yeah.
And so in today's like woke culture and like also not being able to say like very PC, where do you draw the line then? Okay. Because that's what I'd like to get your opinion on is like, you know, a lot of things aren't allowed to be joked about that used to be able to be joked about. Is should everything, if it's a joke, be allowed and like that's off limits because it's like part of comedy and or like how does that work then? Because I feel like jokes are getting so tame now
and
that
you can
I'm
get
not
canceled. There's been comedians I thought that have gotten canceled.
I want to get canceled. I hope to get canceled. Cancel me.
I think that's the mentality you need to have though.
To be a good comedian, you have to be like,
because jokes aren't as funny at the moment. I'm telling you, like on specials, because they're having to go through such like levels of like, let's tone it down because it's going on TV. People are going to be mad. So
you just say it and you're just hope for, because you said you don't care if you get canceled. So then you just kind of say, and you're like,
I joke a little bit about that, but I do believe that if you are not saying anything as a comedian, like you're not pushing the envelope, the joke doesn't make people uncomfortable, the joke isn't brutally honest, like get out, like you're not meant to be a comedian. And jokes are tamed now because everyone is afraid of that. And I feel, listen, if it's a good enough joke, if it's funny, you can get away with it. I believe that. And if it's truthful, it's funny, and it's punching up is what we say. Like it's not, you don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable.
I feel like if you make fun of everything, like, you know, if you make fun of everything, then you as long as you don't take away from one thing, like, I don't make fun of this person, but I'll make fun of everybody else, and that's when it gets weird, right?
If you're just making racist jokes 24/7, you're obviously really
there's people who want to say, that person's racist. No, they make fun of everybody. They just hate everybody. Like, that, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is,
and the reality is, everybody. A joke can be made about everybody. Sect of society, section of society. It can, gay, straight, white, black, poor, rich, whatever it is. And because there's truth and there's weakness and there's something to be said about everything. And
everyone can be made fun of too. I feel like that's going to be such a much lighter thing. Like shine the light on everything that's awkward or weird. Like even if it is someone with a mental disability, I can only imagine that I'd be like, I mean, I know when I talk about problems that I've had, like, and just like put it out there, it's automatic. That's the weight lifted automatically. It's like, yes, guess what? Life is real. People with disabilities is real. Everything is kind of part of the whole experience.
There is a wave now, and you're absolutely right with people getting canceled and jokes. As a result, comedians are kind of cowering back. You're noticing with the crowds, it's if you tame yourself and you are so afraid of getting canceled and you fall into this wokeness and stuff, you're going to train the crowds to be like that.
Yeah, and that's not funny.
It's not funny. And then they come to the show and there's this wrong misconception that they're going to just hear things that are comfortable and in their world and that they agree with. And how are you supposed
to say a joke that's comfortable for everybody too? Because everybody has their own religious thoughts and whatever backgrounds and all this kind of stuff. So how do you even fit everybody in that room? And even in a super safe box, somebody's going to get offended.
There's no way. And it's like you're never going to please anybody. And I always say the comedian that pleases everybody or the artist that everybody loves and whatever, I'm like, is probably playing it really safe. And it's like, okay, that's the lane you're going in, but what are you really doing?
So how do you pick your jokes? Like you just think of them randomly, you're like, okay, I'm going to use that for my next stand-up.
You know,
do you write a lot of it? Like, is there a lot of writing? Okay.
Yes, a lot of writing. I ultimately kind of find it on stage, I think, but I do write a lot.
Interesting. So you wait, you're like, you have a joke and then you just keep going?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. It's kind of a back and forth between like, it either starts on paper or it starts on the stage, but either way I kind of go back and forth, and then it kind of becomes this process of like, okay, this is a funny line, test it out, it works, it doesn't. Maybe I say something off the cuff on stage, so then I go back to pen and paper to figure out how to like...
How do you make it flow? Because every time I go to a stand-up, it seems like all their jokes are flowing, and then there's times where the crowd is... And then it seems like that's just a random joke that fit with the crowd and the interaction, right? And then they still make it flow. So that's just natural.
When you do something, I think it's like anything. It's like you guys right now are in such a flow, right? Like it's when you do, you're just it's flowing and vibing. No big deal. We're catching a wave. We're riding it. When you do something enough, that's when the flow comes. Yeah, like it's my set last night. I had a crazy crowd at Hotel Cafe, and I did a lot of crowd work.
Hotel Cafe is fun.
It's fun. Yeah. It was fun. I headlined the second stage room. It was great night, great set. But I did a lot of crowd work, and I don't know if the audience realized it, but like a good amount of the things that I said in between are written.
Yeah.
Like I knew exactly where I was going with that, but that comes with like, I get on stage every day.
Really? You do stand up every day?
Just about, yeah.
Wow,
it's like a muscle that you need to work all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're thinking about it, so you're going to write everything down. One of my other favorites is Nikki Glaser. So I used to listen to her podcast, and then her podcast was one of the first that I got into, really, because it was so good when it was called maybe it was You Up. Was it You Up? With Andrew Collin. Oh my God, so good. And then circling back, the comedians' books are always the best to read because they're dark, but they're also funny. So it's not just like a
Steve
drag
Martin's
the whole
book
time.
is phenomenal. Nikki's book is Eliza's book is great. Yes.
Oh, Eliza's good too.
Yeah.
Love comedians.
Yeah.
You know how you were saying we feel everything. So when I go to a show, sometimes I won't go to stand up because I don't want to feel if they bomb, and I don't know who's going to bomb and who's going to be good, and I just can't stand someone being on stage when they're making jokes and no one's laughing. I think that is the worst. I can't even watch it on TV. Like
it's train wreck theory. Like it's like
I always try to sit in the back. I just know that to sit in the back because I'm like I
you
know.
You can feel it though because you see.
I see them upstairs scanning to make fun of somebody, and I'm like, I'm going in the back.
You're like, I'm not going to be the scapegoat. I'm sitting in the back. Yeah. It is. I mean, honestly, the biggest kick is comedians get a kick out of watching each other bomb. I'm not going to lie. Like we laugh like just because we know that pain. Everybody's been there, and it's like a brotherhood thing.
Oh,
like,
that's cute. Even if you like the comedian, you're like, they're bombing. That's a little bit funny.
Oh yeah. Well, if you don't like the comedian and they're bombing,
that's even better. I can understand. That's natural. I'd be like, oh, thank God, he sucks.
Okay, I'm watching my enemy's fall. No, I'm kidding. I'm like down to go. But no, if you're genuine friends and you're watching each other struggle, it's a brotherhood. It's like very like sisterhood, brotherhood. Like it's just very like, oh, buddy, there it is. You know, but I mean, again, bombing just comes from like not telling the truth. Like anytime I'm having a rough set,
the truth is funny.
The truth is everything.
The truth is hilarious.
Some people just don't have funny lives, so they can't tell the truth about it.
Or they can't see the truth in things.
Or the truth can be like in the fucked up situations that happen. You're like, oh my God, what is my life?
Yeah.
But if you can just capture that exact essence of whatever that fucked up thing that was happening that day, you'll laugh at it later.
Oh yeah. Like one of the things that I like live by in comedy and not is just like, you can't change whatever the truth is or the reality is of a situation. You know, you just have to figure out what you're going to do with it. You know, are you going to make a joke about it? Are you going to run from it? Cry. Sometimes you cry. Sometimes you run from it, you know, but the truth is always going to be what it is. So I just think like the sooner everybody faces it.
Yeah.
Dating a comedian, yes or no?
Oh no. Like me?
Yeah, would you two comedians together, would that work?
I've dabbled.
How did it work out?
You guys were mean to each other? You guys were making fun of each other too much? Or what happened?
You're like, competing for who's the funniest? That would suck.
That's what I would think. We would be too mean and making fun of each other.
It's like telling zingers from the bathroom next door.
You know what it is? Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. It's, okay, so there is an element of... So the reason you start dating is because you're obsessed with this, right? Like that's what it was. And like the lifestyle is the same. And it is like really fun to be able to talk about this thing you're both pursuing and this weird thing that only this other person gets.
And it's very rare. I feel like I don't mean that. I don't meet many comedians ever. They're New Yorkers always, it seems, by the way.
I started in New York. I started stand-up in New York. So... It's that, but then also to your point about like the constant zingers, like I don't want to be in a relationship now where like I can't turn it off at some point. And there's always gonna be like an element of competition. Like I've had that with some of the comedians I've dated. Like that's not to brag, but I was always the more successful one. And then it was like, but there's always this moment. Like I remember one night, like I was seeing this guy and we were both on a show and he felt whatever about his set. I thought he did fine. I got up. I loved my set. I had a lot of fun. And I got off, but beforehand I was like, oh, I'm tired. I feel like I might bomb. I'm like not feeling it. And then he goes, oh yeah, you're just like, I'm tired. I feel like I might bomb. And then you get up and you just like fucking crush.
Do you watch Sex and the City? This is like Burger. Oh, Berger, when he wrote the book that he didn't get picked up for another book and he was all mad at Carrie. She just got a fucking book that was recreated into France and she was all excited. Guys, I would imagine when you're dating a guy that's in that industry, it's like actors dating each other. It's like, ew, who wants to see a guy like being like, I didn't get the part and I'm glad you got the part but I didn't get the part.
The whole thing.
Well, you're funnier than me. Like that would be
whole thing. And it will come up. How would it not come up? And I'm not saying it's impossible to date somebody in the same profession, but you have to like really navigate that. And I just think I honestly am at the point now where I genuinely don't want to date a comedian.
What's your type then? What would you want to date? Like describe a guy.
Men who ruin my life are my type.
Yeah, no, I get that.
The walking red flag is my type.
I completely get that. But if you were to pick, let's just say look-wise. Let's start with look-wise. What would you want?
I tend to love, if I were to build, I did look kind of all over the place. Like if you put him in a back line, in a lineup, you don't
have a type really.
I don't. I don't know what it is. It's always that
energy. That's called pansexual when you just go off of energies of people, right? And not necessarily sex or look.
Am I pansexual?
I would consider myself pansexual. I like somebody's energy.
Oh, yeah, you could have sex with a girl or a guy.
I could have sex with a girl, guy.
Yeah, okay.
You know what? I might be pansexual.
You could be pansexual because I don't have a type look-wise, and I figured out that's because I'm pansexual.
Oh.
So
I'm learning a lot about myself.
Yeah, so you could be pansexual.
You didn't even know. You might have pronouns.
I usually go by she, her, technically, but okay, something to think about. It is energy for me. It's always been just like chemistry and energy. I will say if I were to build the perfect guy, I love dark hair. I tend to like dark eyes.
Okay, because you have light eyes.
Yeah, I tend to. I think I'm Italian too, so I'm attracted to that like.
Yeah.
Italian stallion a little bit.
You have great eyes, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
For people listening, she has great eyes.
Yeah, look at the camera.
You so
very blue, beautiful.
Thank you. It's all real. The eyes are real.
Exactly. So we can get a shot for her later. Oh, we're going to be using that little day. Oh, gorgeous.
Listen, the eyes are real. The 32 Bs are real. It's all real.
I think we all have light eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
but yours are the lightest. Because and I was like, I love how you matched your eyes with your shirt.
Thank you.
Extra effort.
Thank you. What we're all trying to say here is that us three are at the top of the genetic pool. Anyway.
Clearly.
Sorry, everyone here is very fertile.
Wait, okay, your type.
Yeah, I just, I tend to like tall, dark, and handsome or something like that. But it's like, I don't know, man, like Job? I don't think I care what he does. I just want him
Someone
to be
that
passionate
about
it.
Be the fun, loud
one. So you're so pansexual.
Like a chill guy that's just like happy to be back.
Yes. I might be pansexual.
I think you are.
I'm finding myself today. Yeah, I think like the amount of money he makes doesn't matter to me. Just like have your shit together.
Just pay your bills. Pay your bills and have something for us to go do things when we feel like doing them, but it doesn't have to be crazy.
I don't want to pick up your slack. You're not going to have to pick up mine. I don't think I care what he does. Just like I have in so many instances been like the more ambitious one.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking sick of it, quite frankly. Like I just want somebody that has the same work ethic, same passion for what it is that they do. Obviously he has to be a feminist. He can't be an idiot.
Big dick.
I do love a huge dick. Can I say I love?
Yes, okay. She's preaching to the choir here.
Passionate
size queens
about
here.
And if it's small,
I want it to break me.
It's not about. I'm not about like. Yeah, me too. Me too. Seriously. It's. Oh, I don't know why I it's true.
That's the primer.
I just have to like. If it's small, I dated a guy with an actual micro penis.
No, you dated an actual micro penis.
So a micro penis is actually supposed to be like this. Like so.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube where they do like a catwalk and it's all just men walking like a catwalk with micro penises? It's like a show they do.
I see that.
Oh my god, I can't watch that again because it'll be like PTSD from this guy.
Oh, okay, so was it really that small? And did you have to
show me?
Were you like, wow, this feels great? Like what were you? Okay, show me.
Really, my thumb really hard. The manicure.
And that's hard?
Hard was maybe up to the manicure.
Damn,
so what does that do?
It was nothing. And you know what was crazy? He was so tall. He was good looking. He was like manly. Like I was like very attracted
to him. Did he take
accountability for it?
No. I was gonna say
I'm sorry.
Did he
cancel me for my tiny dick?
You can get extensions at the sex store.
extensions.
Dick extensions. It's like a strap on. I saw it not too long ago.
On the dick, but it's an extra piece of dick.
That's so sad. I would rather the micropeens.
Sometimes they take what's it called?
What did you do with it?
Steroids, and it shrinks the dick.
Do you just flick it? Like what
I don't
happens
think
there?
it's steroids.
Because it's not going to be able to penetrate unless you've got really.
I didn't feel
thin
anything
lips.
when it was inside. You know, it's a bad day when you prefer to be fingered. Like I was like, go back to analog. Like let's
thumb
just.
in. It's going to be better.
And it's like, and he was a great. And you know what it is? He knew about it. And when we were fucking one night, we were having some dirty talk, and he was like, "Yeah, you like this? Yeah." And I was like, "I don't know."
Is he serious?
I was speechless for the first time in my life.
You say
Nobody
yes
likes
or no?
this dick.
Because I was like, do I say yes? Because I don't want to lie. I don't
It's
like
role
it.
play.
So you say it's perfect
I was
for
like,
me.
it feels so good. Even though I was like, is it in? Like, what's happening? So
I get it. I love big dick too.
and I'm really not picky. It's just gotta be like a good
Maybe he would have
Size.
liked
So
it if
say,
you would have
how
made
many
fun of it.
inches?
I think that's what he wanted.
Because Elsa's had that before where guys have asked her to say, you've got a clit dick. Do the spiel
it's
you
called
do about
small
it.
penis humiliation.
And so your dick's so tiny, it should be a clit.
I think he was negging himself so much.
He was like, why did she say it was good? That's what he was thinking. Like, do you like this dick? And you're like, yeah. And he's like, no, that's not the right answer. I wanted you to say it's disgusting.
Feels like we're scissoring.
I won't do it. I won't have small dick anymore. The last time I had a small dick, I was on top, and this is a real story, and I'm not even trying to be mean, and I couldn't tell if it was in or not, and I was just praying the whole time that I'm not bouncing up and down with it not in me, because how embarrassing.
My God.
And I said, now I will never do it again.
Because that's a lot of work.
It is. And
being
then
on
you
top-
don't know if it's in.
Then you're like, I just wasted my fucking time.
You didn't know if it was a toe or not. Elsa likes to do this thing where she does reverse cowgirl and sucks on their toes.
I do love reverse cowgirl though. That is one of my favorite positions.
Although I have a new feet thing.
Oh, what is it?
Which is jerking them off and sucking on their toes. If they if they're kind of leaned back a little bit and they put their feet up, and I can come up over top of them and suck their toes and go like that. They love it.
Wait a minute. You need to explain this to me logistically.
You gotta get into the feet thing with guys. They don't realize that they like their feet.
You are great at multitasking.
Because I am. I really am. But I decided that there's so much foot fetish stuff with women, and then I started doing it with the guys, and they actually really like it.
Yeah,
and it's
some guys should get it. You know, it's because guys have hair on their toes. People don't go near them.
When someone's touching your feet and rubbing them and stuff. So
I will say, a recent guy that I was hooking up with, I didn't care for my feet in the bedroom. Like I just was whatever. My legs were up. And he was fucking me, he was sucking on my toes, and I was like, "Oh, that's a whole world I didn't know I needed."
It feels good. It's stimulating, and that's all I'm doing is sucking on their toes. And
think about it. No one ever touches your toes. So imagine when someone finally does touch it, especially with their mouths. You're like, "Whoa, my feet are neglected. They're stuck in shoes all day." And then you just like, ew. You don't even wash them when you're in the shower, do you? You just let the soap run down.
It depends on how much time I have.
Okay, well, I do that too. I wash them.
Like I usually get in there, but if I'm in a rush, maybe no.
I'm gonna admit, I'm thinking, when is the last time I scrubbed my feet?
Exactly.
I take a lot of baths.
Pedicure do it. Like whenever I'm going for a pedicure, I'm like, catch me up.
That could be a month away. Okay, so you have showers, you let the soap just wash down. You're like, that'll take care of itself.
I can also just say that I love that this conversation started off so deep and profound and professional, and now we're like, you're pansexual. Start sucking some toes. Let's go.
Seriously, I'm telling you,
it's super hard left. I'm like, can we just
women can have foot fetishes. They can. Yes. It's not talked about.
I have an OnlyFans.
Women get too much.
I have an OnlyFans. I don't understand. I do. I love it. It's great. And I'm not doing full sex on there, but I'm having fun and making money.
Do you nude?
I do nude.
Oh, yes.
Sexting, stripteases. I've taken all the annoying men that are in my DMs
and put them on OnlyFans.
And now they have to pay me to fucking bother me, and it's amazing. But I didn't get the foot fetish thing, but my girlfriend makes like bank literally just on her feet. And I tried selling mine, but
it's one of the top fetishes. I think is feet. It's like it's like in the top, like it might be number 1 or number 2 or something like that. I got to relook. I try to keep up on the fetishes. Yeah, or I used to.
Stay
anyways.
current.
Yeah, stay current.
Yeah.
And feet was definitely one of them.
I also feel like eating ass is like so popular now, and I'm like, is it because like we just
do you do that?
I eat an ass. I like having mine eaten. It's fun.
So you prefer to be a receiver of ass?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I don't want my ass eaten. I don't want to eat anyone's ass. That's where poo comes from. I'm not doing that with my mouth. I'm gonna say, if I'm eating his ass or letting him eat mine, like, I'm emotionally connected. Like, I want, like, if
you are eating, yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like him.
You're eating ass.
Yes. If I'm eating ass, like, I want to meet his mother.
I had to picture you eating I have to picture you eating ass, and I was like, yeah, I could tell you really if I like him. Well, I mean, isn't that like that's the beauty of like that's why the sex is always better when you like each other and there's a connection. You do the nasty shit.
You do the nasty shit before you know it. You're like, oh my god, like his foot's in my mouth and my ass is getting eaten. What's next? Marriage? Like, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
That's some kinky shit. Marriage. Oh, what a weird kink.
Oh my god. Let's take a risk here. Oh god.
You know what? She'll love our hotline questions.
We have some really good fans.
Sex is like my favorite topic.
Who cares about anything else?
Yeah.
So you'll love our questions.
Use people as drugs and fuck them too.
So-
I love it.
Use people as drugs.
Step 2, here we go.
Okay, first one up. My boyfriend says he can't control himself when I give him blowjobs, and he comes. He grabs my head and hair and fucks my face throat when he comes, and I don't really like it. I told him I don't like it, but he keeps doing it because he says he can't control himself. Should I just stop giving him blowjobs?
I think you need to go on a hiatus. I don't think it needs to be a permanent change. But I mean, like, if you're not enjoying it, sex is about reciprocity. And if he keeps doing it, like, I'm not saying blowjobs are banned forever, but I would put him in blowjob timeout.
Also, the face fucking thing it leads to unwanted vomit. If you really are, if he's going,
And it hurts, don't you?
So that's what I thought. I was like, oh, she probably is it's probably making her not feel good if he's fucking her face.
Yeah.
So that would be my thing.
Also, whenever I see that in porn or whenever it happens to me, I agree with this girl. I'm always
Have you
like,
ever
hard stop.
enjoyed that?
I don't like
not
my face.
really.
No one
Being
enjoys
fucked.
being choked, like actually choked with something down their throat. Like you touch if you have a toothbrush and you're brushing your teeth, you accidentally hit back there. You're like, I mean, that's horrible. No one enjoys that.
I would like to bring something up though. Whenever I brush my teeth and I clean the back of my tongue, 9 times out of 10, I end up gagging, and then for the next minute and a half,
You
I
have
need
to calm yourself down to not throw up.
But for some reason, pressure makes diamonds. When I'm sucking dick,
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
You know why?
Because I'm performing.
You know why I think it is?
Yeah.
I think because it's bigger than the toothbrush, and I feel like the toothbrush is so small, it's almost like tickling and small, and like and I feel like all at once, it being all in the back of your throat.
Yeah,
is like
I think that's what it
throws the gagging off.
And it's also a different context. It's how
I'm all about both people enjoying it. So if she's not enjoying it and he's hurting her by fucking her throat, like
know
how
what I'm
can
saying?
you be turned on by that anyway? Because she's literally having the worst time of her life.
Also it's just like such a cop out to be like, I lose control and I just get so in the moment.
And
like
I just have to,
Yeah, like I've had guys where like their pull-out game was like brutal, and they're like, I just lose control and I'm so in the moment. I'm like, well, I'm not on birth control and I'm not about to go for the hat trick with abortion. So let's like people are like, how many kids do you have?
Coming in you? They were coming in you? Or they were half-assing it?
At first it was coming in me, and I was like, well, you're gonna go
fucked up.
And I was like, you're gonna go get the plan B.
Yeah.
And if this goes south, you're paying for it. And then it was just terrible pullout game, and I was like, you're gonna have to wrap it up, buddy. Like, I just lose control in the moment. What else is he losing control?
And have a baby that looks like you and acts. I mean, really, I think that's a great.
Where else is he losing control? Like, if you're using that excuse, I'm like,
it's a turn off.
You losing control at the bar when a hot girl hits on you?
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly
These
what
questions
happens.
are good today. Next one is I tried to peg my husband for the first time, but I'm naturally a very submissive person and ended up being awkward. After like 5 minutes, he just jumped up and we moved on to something else. I want to peg my husband properly. How can I take charge? This sounds like a hilarious situation.
I used to peg my husbands and
husbands
and wait, I'm trying to think if I pegged every
we need to
single
do
one.
drinks.
Do drinks? You said?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
I used to peg a lot of guys. I went through a really big pegging stage.
Okay,
but you have to be a dominant person. You can't force yourself to peg and be submissive.
I have a solution.
Unless you're making love and like spooning the person and pegging, that's the only thing that I can think of as like a more
for like cohesive,
passionate pegging.
Because you got to put on that whole persona and be like, yeah, I'm fucking you now, and she's like,
and that's probably what he wants.
That confidence.
That's probably what he wants. That's why he changes something else. Is he wants something more.
He wants to be in the submissive role.
Yes.
He wants to take turns. I think that she should talk to blowjob guy from question number 1 about how to apply pressure. And they can learn from each other.
Yes.
Also, like, you got to try it. She said she tried it more than once?
After 5 minutes, she jumped up and moved to
First
something
time.
else. No, just one time. She's got to try it a few times, and she also needs to really know
Have you
that
ever
like
pegged?
he wants this.
It throws your hips out. I'm telling you.
I just
Like
haven't
if you got it,
designed
if he really wants it aggressive, at one point I was exhausted.
So you do it with a
See
straw
what
ball.
guys go through? You guys
Okay.
are
I
great.
know.
Okay, I would. You know
I
what I
was
would
tired.
do? I'm not against anything, especially if I'm in the right context with the right person. But if a guy that I was dating really wanted to be pegged, I'd be like, just go find somebody like a gay man who does this professionally, or just go find a go find a dom or
Yes.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Or invite a man into your bedroom.
That's what I'm doing. Exactly. Exactly. I'd be like, this isn't my strong suit.
Yeah.
Sucking your
But I
dick
have
is.
someone for you, and yeah.
It does throw your hips out.
Just like it's like services. It's like I can't do that for you, but I can hire and outsource. That's
Maybe
it.
she needs to be more comfortable, like, with being that dominant role, and like take it out of him. Like,
Yeah.
come on, like, I need to know. You really want me to be like this? Is this what you want? Like, and maybe
Was
at
she
a clearer-
turned on enough too? Because I envision if I'm turned on enough, then I would get more
Makes you
aggressive.
want to, So maybe she needs to
I would feel
almost
like an
kind
idiot
of
wearing-
watch pegging porn together. So maybe they can watch
Oh, good
a
idea.
wife and husband pegging porn, and he might even really be into that. And then they can just engage in regular sex until she's kind of been comfortable and learned enough. And
Yeah,
then she
like
can
have a tutorial on in the background.
Yeah, but make it sexy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife says she wants me to treat her like a slut. Rapid fire. What's some ways I can make her feel like a slut?
Treat her like a slut. Rapid fire. I mean, I love name calling. I would start.
You're my
that.
slut.
Dirty whore, bitch, just degrading, like anything Trump would say to women. No, I'm kidding. Just take a page out of his book.
I
right?
wonder. I actually think he needs to ask her what her level of comfortability for name calling and being treated like a slut. But it sounds like she really wants to be treated like a slut. So I actually would suggest name calling and a facial, which is an easy way to make someone feel like a slut and sexy all at the same time.
Yeah.
So I would actually be like,
Yes.
I want to come on your face, and that's something that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
Come all over her face. That is so slutty.
You know what also
my-
feels slutty
yeah.
too? It's really specific. Yeah, it's also it's free protein for her. So it's also really specific, but like the aggressive dick slapping on the pussy also feels a little
Or on
like
the face too.
or the face feels a little like slutty.
Yeah,
Like
there's
little,
a lot of
like-
different. There's a lot of different, a little bit more aggressive things that makes you kind of feel like, you know, in a sexy way, for sure.
Yeah, they could also role play, maybe go to a bar and pretend to not know each other and like pick her up like a one night stand.
Maybe like, you're my dirty little slut. You sit at that bar and
Yeah.
for men all.
I'm getting turned on by that.
Yeah, exactly.
Men all night and
Or let her fuck other men.
and not.
And then call her a slut.
And then be like, you fucking slut. She's like, hello, I'm being a good girlfriend. Like,
You told me.
this is what you wanted. Hello. Yeah. It's a fine line. Again, communication and boundaries with everything.
And you can always save it with a facial if you want to.
Yeah.
Women love skincare. So
Yeah. Okay, wait, hold on. Look, is there another one?
My fiance demands I give him a blowjob but doesn't return the favor and go down on me. What the fuck? How do I get him to return the favor?
I'm going to say the answer I said in question number 1, blowjob time out. I say.
Yeah, that's simple. Just withhold.
That's not healthy. I'm not saying that's healthy. I don't think a therapist would recommend that, but
I don't know how I feel about relationships where it's not equal oral sex. That's so weird to me.
yeah, it's probably not to assume about your relationship. I would think it's not equal in other places too.
Yeah. How do I get them to return the favor? The problem is if somebody doesn't want to do it, trying to get them to do it is not going to feel good to you when it's sexual and they don't want to do it. Like, I don't want somebody eating me out if they don't want to eat me out.
Yeah, I also don't want to have to like beg for something.
maybe
The wrong
she's
person. It's a mismatched sexual chemistry.
But has she told him how much she wants to be eaten out? Because I actually was in
should.
a relationship once before. and
Just the
the
I did
guy-
it one time, not for me.
and there was a few times where I think we had just been out, and I was like, no. I kept saying I didn't want him to eat me out. So then after a while, he thought I didn't didn't want him to eat me out. So then I finally came to him and I said, why don't you ever eat me out? And he's like, well, you used to. So maybe there still needs to be a little bit of a conversation where she might. And
if anything, while he's sleeping, like I'm saying like mid sleep, you just take your panties off and you just sit on his fucking face. And you
what does he do?
And then what does he do? You just go, you fucking take it, or this engagement's off right now. I'm gonna tell your mother you're going to
like a pillow, smother him in the night
exactly.
until he passes out,
No,
and then you can finish.
Right, exactly. Maybe
Make sure you wake him up though after.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but I have taken the initiative and sat on partners' faces. I mean, they liked eating pussy, and I've been like, this is how I want my pussy eaten right now, or whatever, and they were into it. But I agree with you. I need some follow-up questions. Like, I just can't imagine being with somebody
and not getting eaten out.
A, yes, and B, like, you're engaged. This is gonna be the person you primarily have sex with for the rest of your life.
I forgot about that. It says fiance.
I can't imagine being in the heat of the moment and looking at my partner and being like, babe, can you do that? I want this. And then being like, is he being like, nah? Like, I don't know.
It says demands too. My fiance demands. So it sounds like it's not.
So he's just not doing it. He's just like, no.
He demands me to give him a blowjob.
I would withhold, and then I would say, look, this is not a two-way street, and I need it to be.
Yeah.
And also, you need to explain to me why this isn't something that you want to do, because it's making me feel gross.
I'm wondering why he doesn't want to.
Can I say something about the withholding? So technically, withholding sex, you can do that, but it gets to a point where you can't use sex as a weapon to get what you want.
100%.
So
you can't weaponize it.
There has to be, because that's a form of it's a form of relationship.
Emotional abuse.
Relationship abuse is withholding sex and not giving it to somebody until they give you what you want.
I abused my ex-husband for so many years, I had no idea. Maybe I was the bad one.
I always try to withhold sex when I'm a horny little bitch.
But if you're But if you're not into it and he's demanding and you don't like it and you want something in return, you can absolutely say, I'm not.
Yeah. You know? To be clear, I don't endorse like withhold. I actually dated a guy who we were best friends and then kind of always had the idea too. So then we start fucking and it was great. But then all of a sudden his sex drive took this weird plummet. And he was like fresh out of what I knew wasn't a great relationship, but a long relationship. Mm-hmm. And it was so weird. Like it got to a point where I had to be like, do you still want to fuck me? Like, are you
what did he say?
And he was like, yeah. And I was like, are you still attracted to me? He's like, yeah. And he's like, it was so weird. He's like, I'm just like not in the mood. Like I don't have the same sex drive as you, or I just want to. But I started to pick up over time that there was something else underneath this. Like he felt guilty for wanting sex, or he felt like he didn't want to indulge too much. And I had this assumption and I ended up being right. He told me years later, his ex-girlfriend used to weaponize sex. Mm-hmm. Like, and nobody liked her. We always kind of got a vibe. It wasn't a healthy situation. But like, if he pissed her off, he's like, she would just not fuck me for an indefinite amount of time. Mm-hmm. But then when
until he made her happy again, you're allowed to, obviously if someone upsets you and whatever, you're allowed to be like, I'm not into it or I don't want to have sex because you upset me, but you can't be like, nah, not into you.
That's an important other part of the equation too. Like if you're unhappy with your partner and there's underlying issues, like, and you don't want to have sex just because they're your partner, they can't force it on you.
But that's what happens is somebody then gets out of it and then they're a little bit nervous to like ask for sex or engage.
I swore the whole time I was with him, and it was because we had phenomenal sex. Ironically, this man accidentally like made me pregnant. Literally. And my friend was always like, she's like, oh, the asexual one made you pregnant. How funny. How ironic. Like, but like
the asexual.
And I was just like, I just don't know. He just says it's his sex drive. But I'm like, there's something underlying here.
That's sad.
That it makes him feel weird. And then years later, we rekindled, hooked up, had amazing sex. And he was like, that relationship was really bad. XYZ. So he felt like wanting sex made him weak or made him look because she weaponized it. So just bringing awareness to that. Yeah, but I kid with the withholding.
But people need to know that you can do, like there's, you absolutely are allowed to not have sex if you don't want to, but
yes,
you gotta.
Yes, but also get your needs met, especially if you're fucking engaged to this person.
Yes.
What the hell?
Sex?
Yeah, and they don't want to eat your pussy?
Oh, this is a great actual tips for rough sex when my husband has a smaller penis. Not to interrupt, but I just saw it. So
if I had answers to that, I'd still be with that guy. So tips for
What'd you do? What'd you do when he?
it didn't last very long because we weren't sexually compatible.
Have you had small guys before? What have you done?
I tell them, well, I've had small guys, but I went through a stage where I did like small cock.
Oh, you liked it?
I did like it.
Did you nag it?
When I got out of the adult industry, because the porn dicks are so big, I actually was like, wanted smaller dicks because they tend to be better at oral sex. So I was like, I'm just gonna have, and I didn't need penetration at that time in my life. But I was open about how I liked small dicks then. So they already knew that I was into it.
Interesting.
And then I always say, if they ask you if you like their dick, to say, it's the perfect size for me. Don't say that it's small. Don't say that it's big when it's not, because that's lying, and then they'll think that you're a liar. But don't say that it's small because that hurts their feelings. So you say,
or just like you feel so good, or like other things. Perfect size for me. Yeah,
I think you're the perfect size.
Good.
Okay, that's good. I don't know. Rough sex when he has a small.
Oh yeah, rough. Choking. How about a little bit of choking? How about a little bit of hair pulling? How about
nipple pinching?
I was gonna say nipple clamps or something like that.
Also, I mean, I've had I would like to think I've had a nice sample size of cock in my life, and ranging from micro penis was the outlier to like some snakes, but like it's also doesn't, for me, roughness doesn't always come down to size.
Yeah,
like I've had guys with huge dicks that like don't know how to use it. And then I've had guys with like on this medium to smaller end that
know how to make it feel like it's way bigger.
Yeah. Exactly. So size isn't everything in that moment, I think. Just maybe tell them to put a little more like take pressure. A Zumba class.
Yeah, a little bit more pressure towards the cervix a little bit to make it feel bigger.
I'm sure there's certain positions too that they could try.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Love it. This next part is all about Brittany.
Yay, you're going to tell us
as if it's not already all been about her. Oh, fucking bitch. We love having you here. This is so fun to have a comedian. You're our first comedian.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm popping your comedian cherry.
I was so excited. I was like, what? Female comedian? This is going to be amazing. And it has been. This is so good.
They call us comedians because we tell jokettes with our vagines. It's different. So special.
You're working on a documentary?
Yes.
About Miami stand-up scene.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I started it about a year ago. I've never made a movie, never made a documentary, but the Miami comedy scene is like going through a huge renaissance right now. A lot of talent coming out of there, clubs, a lot of attention coming out of there in a way that never was before. And I relocated back down from New York. I started stand-up in New York. I grew up in Miami. COVID kind of brought me back home to Miami. So it was a special time to kind of watch everybody relocate, all these shows pop up. So yeah, I'm working with a production company called Digital Bodega. They're based in New York, and it's gonna hopefully be due out next year, maybe the year after, but yeah.
It's just 1 hour long thing? Are you guys going to do multiple episodes?
It's probably going to be 70 minutes, somewhere between 70 to 80. We've talked about a docu-series, probably not, probably just a one-off.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it. That's so fun. You know what I think why Miami is getting more stand-up stuff is because everybody moved from New York and moved to Miami.
Why did they all move from New York?
Because during COVID, people it was shut down and Miami wasn't, and then taxes, I think. So and I'm telling you, people in New York love stand-up comedy. I don't know what it is, and I think
it's the mecca for comedy. Yeah. And I mean, that's so true. I mean, a lot of national, like New York and LA talent, myself included, came down to Miami after the pandemic.
And then they were like, let's just do it.
And I also think everyone was cooped up and watching a lot of Netflix specials. So stand-up just kind of itself got popular. But it's fun. It's going to be 70 to 80 minutes, and it's live stand-up specials that we taped with all the main comedians down there, in-depth interviews, BTS, and because Miami doesn't take itself very seriously, we have some sketches as well too. Like Miami's ridiculous. Like we're aware that we're like a ridiculous extra city. So the tone is very funny to the documentary. Yeah.
What the difference between like New York comedy and LA comedy and Miami comedy, is there like a difference, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there is?
For sure. I always say the quickest way to get to know a city is to go to a comedy show.
Okay.
Comedy show, or listen to like the local radio station or something, but more so comedy, because you learn the local references, how people talk, what their energy is, what they find funny. New York, I'm really grateful for teaching me how to write a good joke. I had to, because all the world's biggest comedians are there, and I was on shows with them and working the biggest comedy clubs. So you have to write and really bring your A game and have something to say. And then Miami has a baby comedy scene and is a completely different energy. And Miami taught me how to like work a room and good crowd work and MC and energy and stuff. So in LA, I'm like still learning. I haven't done a ton of comedy out here, but it's for sure a way different energy. Way different.
And they're just going to combine it all into one thing. And
yeah. And I think that's how you also just like become a better comedian. You travel and you try your shit in new places, and you're like, oh, okay.
I like this. I like that.
This works. This doesn't.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I hear you have some funny parents. Is that where you get it from?
I do. Shout out Karen and Tony. What?
Your mom's name is Karen?
Yeah.
My mom's name is Karen.
Oh my God.
She hates it.
She hates it. She's always out there talking about fucking Karens again.
Yeah.
Not all of us are bad.
No, it's setting us back.
Yeah, literally. I remember when Karen started trending on the internet, my mom, because she's in her 70s and like she uses the internet baseline for work, no social media. She literally thought that the internet, all of the internet at one point was talking about her. Like she was like,
man.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's
That's
the most Karen thing in the world.
that is the most Karen thing.
She's like, why is everybody talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I'm like, not you self-centered cunt. No. Yeah, they're great.
And you moved back in with them during COVID.
Yeah, not
How
my
was
brightest
that?
moment.
And you haven't moved out?
No, I moved out.
Okay.
I moved out.
Say that.
But like your girl got a struggle story now. Yeah,
that's okay.
No, I moved back in with them, which was like a temporary thing, and I went back and forth. Honestly, on a sincere level, like I have a great relationship with my mom, my dad. I'm an only child. I joke, I'm like, I wish they beat me. I'd have a Netflix special. But I'm grateful that like they just let
Is it a lot of material you get from them?
Oh my God.
Like just moving home and being there, like you have that whole. Actually, didn't Nikki Glaser do that? She moved back in with their parents for that.
Yeah, she did too. Yeah, which made me feel better about moving back in with my parents. And I was like, well, Nikki Glaser's doing it, so
yeah.
Well,
and you know what? Who cares? COVID was so hard for people. Like I'm sure a lot of people moved back in with their parents. Honestly, I would love to not pay any rent and live at my parents' where I don't have to.
It was the best thing. Like it was, I just decided to start financially pursuing comedy, and then COVID hit, so it couldn't have been like a worse. And I made it work going back and forth for as long as I could, but super grateful that I have two parents that like
can let you come home.
Can let me come home. And I don't know what I would have done had I not have that. And it ended up being a really creative time for me. And honestly, I don't know if I'd be doing so well if I stayed in New York with like I'm thriving in Miami. And I'm grateful for it. So shout out Karen and Tony. We're a little codependent with each other.
Tony
but it's okay.
is such an Italian name, right?
And every man in my family is like Tony, Vito, Vincenzo.
Is that in your stand-up, all the Italian stuff?
Yeah, I'm like, they all sound like one half of the menu at Carrabba's. Like,
Carrabba's,
they all sound like an appetizer at Olive Garden.
Have you been to Carrabba's? It's kind of like an Olive Garden.
It's better than Olive Garden.
Oh, you haven't been to Olive Garden?
No.
But you know what? I recently went to Olive Garden, and as a kid, it was really good. But I was like, what is this?
It's terrible.
It's terrible. The breadsticks actually taste like glue.
Yep, they do.
I thought it was fabulous. Like everyone talks about it, like the Olive Garden, and so many people go there.
Because it's
like,
such basic flavors that you would think were good, because sometimes you just need like a basic Alfredo pasta. It's not
and
good.
It's also kind of really hard to fuck up chicken parm. Like their chicken parm's okay, but then I had Carrabba's chicken parm, and I was like, oh, this was made by an Italian. Like this is different. It hits different.
It's another chain.
You see?
Just doing the hand gestures.
I burn calories while having a conversation. I'm very Sicilian.
Very strong fingers.
Very strong fingers. Yeah, bend over. Okay, yeah.
Brittany, it has been so fun having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have anything you want to plug right now? It's going to come out in a few weeks, so make it something, whatever you want.
Mid to long term. I'm on tour. I'm in LA right now. I will be in New York, Rochester, Boston, Denver, Phoenix, Chicago, Tampa, Boca, all over South Florida.
So you really do every day.
I'm on stage just about every day.
Good.
So she's saying follow her on Instagram because that's where you'll find all the dates.
That's
for all
the best place.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram handle?
Brittany Brave, my name, Brittany. There's a million ways to spell Brittany, and Brave. like courageous. It's the whitest name ever. And Brittany
Brave.
Brittany
That's
Brave.
such a cute name.
Thank you. Everyone's like, you were destined
I
to
thought
be.
it was fake.
No, it's really my last name.
That's cool.
My grandfather's name was Bravo, and then when they came here from Italy,
They did Brave.
they did Brave, the
Cute.
most American thing ever. So
That is so cute.
I was like, I always say,
Don't get married and change your last name.
hell no, he's taking my name.
Yeah, you should.
I
You
would.
should. Brave
Like,
is so
with that
cute.
name, I was like, I either need to be a superhero, a comedian, do porn, and now I have an OnlyFans. I do comedy, and I am
Even
a superhero.
Bravo's cute.
Isn't it?
Yeah, even
Maybe I
that's
should do
really
that. But yeah, Brittany Brave on everything. Come to a show.
Love it. We're going to come to one.
Yay.
Yay. We love that.
Okay, bye
Yay.
guys.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.